Well, hello everybody, and welcome to our first segment of Off the Track on the Record. This is my first podcast, and the first podcast from Hempfield. I have a few of my friends here from cross country and track, and we're going to talk a little bit about, just some of the big topics going on in the world, and some other topics that aren't as big. So, without further ado, let's get this episode started of Off the Track on the Record.
Ourselves.
Yeah. So.
All right, Max, why don't you start?
So yeah, we're all gonna introduce ourselves. I came up with a few questions so people could really just get to know you better. The first thing I want to know about you is, I want to know your name, your grade, your go-to karate move, and a fun fact about you. So if you guys could just start out with that, so each person go person by person and say those things. So Max.
To start, my name is Max, grade 12. Was that one of the things I needed to say?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
Karate move.
Okay, well, in military fitness, I learned the spinning back kick. That'd probably have to be my favorite.
And a fun fact about you.
Fun fact about me. Oh, shoot. Can you come back to me?
Yeah, I guess so.
Fun fact, I took military fitness last year, and I passed.
Basically a Marine.
Little did you know, Max is one of the buffest track and field runners we have because he took. All right, speaking of, Farmer is going to be Ryan Farmer. It's our next
I'm Ryan
guest.
Farmer. Most people call me Farmer. I'm in grade 12, and favorite karate move, like the monkey fist. You hold your hand like this and just or whatever.
You have to, Farmer. You have to describe it for the people that are just listening.
Okay, so for the people that's listening, it's like you curl up your fingers and you bash them on the head with your palm. And then
RKO
so
immediately.
and then something about me. Well, I watch a lot of movies and I really enjoy those movies. That's about it.
Nice. Ryan Farmer, everybody.
My name's Colin Gallagher. I'm in grade 12, and my go-to karate move would probably be I remember I took karate when I was in second grade, and my master, I don't even remember what they were called, but he would always do this thing. He would do that thing where you lifted your one foot a little bit off the ground, and he would trick everybody into thinking he was floating, and all the 7th graders or the 2nd graders would be like. It was
Definitely not a karate.
I don't think that's a karate move. I think that's
a move. It was the coolest thing that I ever saw.
Let the record show that's a parlor trick.
In my time, in my time taking karate, that was the coolest thing that I ever saw.
So it wasn't actually the karate.
I was
part of it.
No, it was not the karate
This was
part
something
of it.
other than a podcast.
This guy
that
blew
asked
my
you to
mind.
Show us.
This guy
I
blew my
guess
mind.
you can.
Huh?
So if this was something other than a podcast, I'd ask you
Can
to
you
show us.
can you pull
but
this
you
move
can't.
off?
He would
Or did you master it?
would pretend to push down on the ground really hard, and then he would but I mean everyone would just be looking at the one foot.
What about the other foot?
It would
I
just
assume
stay on the
that
ground.
was touching the ground.
It would just stay on the ground. But he tricked everybody into thinking that.
Well, I'll stop thinking
I have
about
no
feet.
idea how. But yeah, that would
Alright,
definitely be
good.
my go-to karate move.
All right.
I think
Okay.
that counts.
We'll go past that.
I'm Brady, grade 12. My go-to karate move. Well, no one really wants to fight me, so I don't have one. And then
Brady is huge.
fun fact about me. I won the Sufferfest 2017 push-up contest.
So those people that don't know what Sufferfest is, can you explain it a little bit?
It's
I don't know.
it's a thing that we do with the cross-country team, and we go up to Mount Gretna, and we just run around a little bit, and then we get ice cream.
Yeah.
Push
So
up contest.
so for those that don't know, Sufferfest is basically an ice cream eating festival with a little bit of running.
I kick off to the cross country season.
No, I'd say it's a running festival with a little bit of ice cream eating.
I've heard it both ways, folks. And I'm your host, Bailey Titter. I'm in grade 12. My go-to karate move is sidekick because I actually used to have it was like a video game, I guess. It's kind of like Dance Dance Revolution. I got it for a Christmas thing, and one of the moves was sidekick, and
For
I liked how he said it.
Console.
Well, no, it was like one of those independent things.
Oh yeah.
So it lasted.
Yeah.
It lasted for 4
5
weeks,
minutes.
maybe.
I had one of those from the dollar store.
Yeah. So that was nice. And fun fact about myself is I'm.
You wrote the question.
I know. I didn't think about it. I didn't think it was fair for me to be prepared. And
Oh, I
you
didn't
guys.
say a fun fact. Or
Oh.
neither did Max. Should we do
No,
fun
Max-
facts
Max
now?
did.
Yeah, he did.
Oh, I was just gonna say, I play the guitar. I guess that's my fun fact. Farmer, did you say one?
He did.
Yeah, I
He
watch
loves
movies.
watching
He likes
movies,
movies.
passionate
Oh, there we
about
go.
movie
I
watching.
love
there we go.
movies.
Oh.
Well, I guess my fun fact is actually has to do with Farmer. One time I ding dong dished his house, but it wasn't actually his house. It was his neighbor's house. And they were
That's Nell.
Kobe's house or the one in between?
It was I don't know whose house it was. Whoever it was, if you're
I think there's
listening,
two in between.
I thought Kobe
I
lived across the
apologize.
street.
no.
No?
No,
No,
it
it
was
was
right-
down the street.
Oh.
but he had the same van. He had the same exact like car that Farmer had, and Kobe's car was parked in the. It was not a good situation, but
Did
we'll
they
get past
answer
that.
the door?
You'll get him next
Yeah,
time.
yeah, they did answer the door, and they were not happy. So
Did you say hello to them? Or like,
I
were
did.
you
I
hitting
tried
that
to,
point?
but it was kind of just like I was getting hit over the head with shame. So,
Oh, the shame.
so speaking of the scary things like that in life, today is Friday the 13th.
That's why, yeah, I was like, why does he want to do scary
yeah.
movies? I was like, it's Friday the
He
13th.
spoiled it.
Yeah.
Well, the viewers didn't know yet.
Friday the 13th.
Yeah, if you guys
get it
watched,
now.
if you guys watched WHHS today, you saw that it was Friday the 13th.
It was all right.
I was gonna say something and then I realized it's not podcast appropriate, so I pulled that pod.
Everything
So
is
we're off the
podcast.
record.
We're basically just counting down until Farmer says something not
Yeah.
not,
Yeah,
not
already-
podcast appropriate.
already
Then we gotta
happened.
cut the whole thing off.
Already
It
happened.
might happen.
It already,
It
yeah,
already
it
did
already,
happen.
it already
What did
did.
I say?
So what
You
was
said-
what was that
no,
question?
don't worry
Bailey?
about it.
What was the
Alright,
question?
alright.
Yeah, what was?
Oh no, I was just saying, today's Friday the 13th. So the original plan for today was to talk about like scary movies.
No, okay, we can talk about scary movies. We can talk
We-
about
like
scary
like
movies.
yeah, we don't have to
It's
go in
Friday
depth.
The it's Friday the 13th.
but it's Friday the
It's-
13th, like,
that suits. That
You know, it's the day to watch scary movies if you're going to.
suits. We're gonna
and-
talk about scary movies. I got a question for Max. Did you ever watch? Remember when I was we were at Jack's house and I was begging you guys to watch the Babadook?
Is that how you pronounce it?
It's the Babadook.
It's the Babadook.
Anyway, I never watched it.
You never watched it? Oh,
Derek,
well,
Derek
after,
told me about it.
After Max, we shot that down, but we watched Borat instead, which was really good.
It's a really good. I highly recommend. 10 out of 10.
Good
It
film.
only got a 81 or something out of 100 on Rotten Tomatoes, but a 100 out of 100 in my mind.
But yeah, anyway, after the next day, I went home because I was determined to watch the Babadook, and it was definitely one of the best horror movies
Really?
I've ever seen. Babadook. Yeah,
I heard it was really bad.
You heard that it was really bad.
Well, okay, so
From
somebody
who?
else on our team, Derek Ziegler, who couldn't be here today, he was telling me how he saw it and he said it was just terrible. So you're allowed to talk to him about that
Babadook
later.
was great. The whole reason that it was good is because it was like, Farmer, you got something to say?
Yes.
Did you see the Babadook?
Yes, I have.
Didn't you think it was great?
It's a really good movie.
It was awesome.
It's a good movie because
I've never even heard of it.
it's psychological and it relies on a mother's grief and how she lost her husband. Now she cannot deal with that by raising a mentally disturbed son.
That's not what I was gonna say.
That's exactly what it is.
Well,
I mean, like it definitely,
It's
it
not the
definitely
same
has more to do with
movie. It is.
it definitely has more to do with
That's what the
psychology.
Babadook represents.
I
don't even know what that
never really
is.
got that. I mean, maybe you're right. I don't know, but I always thought that what made it great was that like it never actually sort of showed the Babadook. It only like gave like vague. It only gave you like vague ideas of what it was supposed to look like.
Yeah.
And the scary thing is that you could just like imagine like the scariest possible scenario in your head, but like it didn't never actually show it.
And they were
So,
different
like,
interpretations
it
of the
was
same
all-
monster.
And it wasn't. It just wasn't. I think it was also just really good because it wasn't like a gore fest. Like it wasn't like super bloody and nasty.
Well, can we
It
get
was just,
get
like-
kind of like a synopsis of this movie?
Oh,
For those who haven't
so,
seen it.
Yeah,
so
because
the
I'm
movie
kinda
is
lost
I have
here.
not
so
seen it.
a movie. So this kid's mom, or no, there's a mom. She's got like this 8 or 9-year-old kid.
I think he's mentally disturbed. I'm not exactly
He's
sure.
supposed to be mentally disturbed, but yeah. So he's got some sort of psychological issues, but it's because like his dad like was killed in a car accident like a year before, and so they moved to this new town. It's in like England somewhere. They moved to this new house trying to start this new life, and this kid finds this it's like a storybook. It's like a open the book, like a pop-up, like cutout storybook like that, and it's called The Babadook, and like it looks really creepy because it is like it was a really sort of weird, disturbing storybook, and all the characters looked really weird. Like it was really creepy to look at. But then like, you know, the mom's like, oh, it's just a book, you know, whatever. And like, so the kid reads the book, and then like he starts thinking like, oh, the Babadook's there, it's everywhere, and he starts freaking out, and like his mom just doesn't believe him. But then like the Babadook starts like coming into their house at night and doing all this really crazy stuff, and it was really just a bizarre, good interpretation of what a horror movie should be like. And I also thought it was just like the Babadook itself was just like a very unique
Concept.
concept. Like I'd never like that was like the first sort of original horror like horror movie antagonist that I've seen in like a long time.
What other kind of movies would you like compare that to?
Oh man. Again, like I'm not much of a horror movie expert, but it was definitely like it was a really good horror movie. I would almost call it more like a psychological thriller than a horror movie. Like it was definitely a scary movie, but it was a lot of like, you know, it wasn't like, you know, Paranormal Activity or
No, it's a psychological
like
horror
that.
movie.
Yeah.
Have you guys
More than anything else.
have any of you guys like you know like M. Night Shyamalan? How would you qualify his movies? Like what kind of category would you put him into?
I don't know who that is.
Split was great. Like one of his newest films, Split, about split personalities. That was very good. I saw that.
Oh
It
yeah,
was
but
a
you
very
know
good
that
movie.
you know that is like there's like no scientific fact.
It doesn't matter.
in multiple personalities. There's no like.
It's a very interesting film.
I've heard of that
Like,
too, Colin. I think I've heard of like real people having that.
Nah, I mean like multiple personality disorder is more like a theory in and of itself. But one person having 23 different personalities is just ridiculous.
I've heard
Like,
it. I've heard it.
I did not hear of 23 different ones.
Well, that's the basis of
Somewhere
Split.
That's what the
between
basis.
1
The guy
and
takes on
23.
23.
Yeah.
You know what movie was good? Get Out.
Yeah,
Oh,
I
yeah,
saw that
remember
too.
we
Haven't
watched
seen
that?
That was actually pretty
That
Yeah.
good.
was
I haven't seen that one yet.
I thought that I thought that it was gonna be really good, and then like halfway through the movie when he wakes up from the chair and he's just like,
Whoa.
Yeah,
No
spoilers.
spoilers.
Spoiler alert.
Spoilers.
Spoiler alert.
Sorry.
Wait, I need to find it. There's probably a button for that. Oh wait.
Let's see it.
Sorry guys.
Is that the button?
Wrong button.
So I got this app on my phone so I can play some sounds for
I
us.
think the moment's
Kinda,
passed, baby.
yeah.
No, now you started. You have to.
You
You have to
gotta
find
finish
I have to
it.
find
You
a
gotta
button.
find it.
We're gonna
Uh,
find it soon.
We'll wait. The viewers will wait. Or
Well, they
listeners,
kind of
I
have
guess
to.
they're not
I
viewers.
mean,
'cause
if they're listening to the
Yeah.
entire thing, you
Listeners-
can't. I mean, they could just skip.
But anyway, yeah, I thought the first half of Get Out was really good, and I thought it was gonna be like really good, and then like it just turned into a gore fest. I was pretty disappointed with the second half. Farmer, don't tell me that.
It was
I
warranted.
don't like that one.
It was warranted because the whole point of it was they were trying to break him psychologically and trying to get him to like commit to the surgery, but he was not able to be
No, they
broken.
weren't. They were imprisoning him the entire time.
I know. What I'm trying to say is
Yeah,
they were
he never had to
hypnotizing him.
consent.
He
to
never
it.
They were
consented.
hypnotizing
They
him,
weren't
though.
trying to. They weren't trying to trick him into consenting.
They were hypnotizing him.
They were
and
And they
hypnotizing
chained
him.
him down.
Yes, but the problem
There
is
was
the
no consent
hypnosis
involved in
didn't
this.
work.
It did work.
It
he just
partially.
plugged his ears.
the hypnosis
no
worked,
spoiler
but he
alert.
they just didn't
Sorry,
keep him
guys.
hypnotized
You're
well
ruining
enough.
this movie,
They didn't keep tabs on him well enough.
True enough.
If you haven't seen Get Out by now, like, sorry.
You
we
should
gotta
you
talk
should
about
you
horror
should see it.
movies.
It's definitely a good movie. It's not really.
I would recommend it just even if not for seeing like an above average horror movie, just because you know it was so critically acclaimed. You know, it's
I don't know. I don't even know if I'd
It's good
qualify
to
as
see
like a
movies
horror
that
movie
get
because you
famous
know
like
it's
that.
like it
Get
wasn't.
Out was definitely a horror movie.
Yeah,
Are
I'd
you
have to
kidding
agree
me,
with
Bailey?
Colin.
It
I'd
was
say
a
I'd say
horror
more
movie.
like a thriller, right? Like it wasn't like
It walks that fine line.
when I think of horror
No,
movies, I
that
think
was
of
a
like
horror movie.
monsters and like
That's
that
like a
sort of
creature
aspect.
feature. Like horror
I guess so,
movies and
okay.
horror as a genre is kind of expansive, so you really can't like
I thought
compartmentalize it into one or another thing. It's like a lot of different
Okay.
things.
Did you
Brady,
see Get Out?
you kind of been sitting here silent.
Yeah, I know. That's what I was
So,
gonna say, Brad.
What?
Any
So
thoughts?
I don't know how many scary movies you've seen, but give us one and we'll talk about it. Cause
Scary movies.
yeah,
I don't watch a lot of movies. Movie theater is expensive, and
it's true.
I don't have Netflix because it's also expensive.
You don't have Netflix? Yeah, you do.
No, I sometimes go with my sisters, but like, don't tell her that.
Sister, if you're listening,
Yeah, what's her name?
Mackenzie,
Yeah.
Mackenzie.
If you're listening to this podcast, disregard that last name.
Brady has not been using your Netflix account.
But I'm also not a huge fan of that genre. I'm more of like the action and adventure movies, like
Well, unfortunately,
crime
Brad,
films and stuff like that.
we gotta stay on topic.
So
It's
Sorry,
Friday
bud.
the 13th.
It's Friday the 13th, man. We gotta speak.
Well, have you ever seen Friday the 13th?
No.
Like the movie?
I've heard of it.
I don't think I've
Yeah,
ever
I've-
actually.
I've never
Friday
actually
the
seen the
13th.
original, but I've seen like the other ones.
So, Brady, you haven't seen any like movies that are just like they're scary movies. You
You
know,
never
I'm
seen
sure
any,
I have,
like-
not that I can.
Not that you
recall
can
right
remember.
now.
what about Alien? You really like space, so like
I really like space.
do you really like Star Wars and that kind
Yeah,
of
Star Wars. Star Wars.
So, like,
is
have you
a
seen
little bit
Star Wars
different
is
than
not-
Star Wars and
not-
aliens are now
Star Wars is
comparable.
like it's a
different than
space
Alien.
themed movie.
Just because I like Star Wars doesn't mean I like space.
Okay, I
themed
made the
movies.
connection. Obviously, it wasn't where we were going.
Oh man.
I don't really know what to say to that. So.
Yeah, I don't know what to say to that either.
Any of you guys ever see? I think I saw Insidious.
That one's good.
Did you guys ever see Insidious? I
Never
thought it was
saw
okay.
that.
Did you see Annabelle?
Yeah.
That was so
Saw a
bad.
I think I
commercial.
saw.
That was so
I saw
unbelievably
commercial.
bad. You want to talk about a bad horror movie? Annabelle was just.
You want to talk about
awful.
a bad horror movie? I got one for you. It was like
Let's
an
hear it.
indie horror movie. It was called They Look Like People. Anyone ever seen this movie?
No.
It was bad. Like I don't know if the plot was that you weren't supposed to know that he had like schizophrenia or something. So like the stuff he was seeing and hearing was like you weren't supposed to find out till the end whether it was real or not, because he was like kept saying like the apocalypse was coming, but like right at the beginning he met with the doctor and he got diagnosed with schizophrenia. So it wasn't a mystery. I like the whole time I was watching I was like, oh, like I'm sure everybody else will just ignore him, and that's exactly what they did. And it never really went anywhere. Like, it was an
There's-
indie horror
that sounds
movie,
like a
so
bad
what can you
movie, yeah.
expect?
One movie I watched was kind of like a spoof of a horror movie. It was Dale and Tucker versus Evil. That one's funny. That one's a good one. I would recommend that.
From you know what
It's-
movie you and I are gonna
it's a
watch
good
one time?
What boss?
You and I are gonna watch Invasion of the Body Snatchers.
Oh, that
That's
one's
like a
good.
classic
Brad, I
horror
haven't
movie.
seen
My
that.
dad told me.
Thank you.
My dad told me after
That
we
one's
watched
funny.
we watched something that was it wasn't a horror movie, but it had something to do with Invasion of the Body Snatchers, and my dad was like, "Now you gotta watch this." I was
Oh.
like, "Okay,
Would you be down for watching like Leprechaun?
no, what?"
What?
That's a horror movie.
Ha ha ha! Yeah.
No, I'm
never heard of
legitimately
that
saying.
Yeah, I know you're legitimately saying, but you and I both know that is a horrendous movie.
It's like one of those. It's okay.
awful.
So in the 80s, they made
It
a lot
is
of movies that were
horrible.
more like funny horror movies.
yeah,
like Nightmare on Elm
and
Street,
and
so
you
they
know
got-
what makes them funny?
That
they're
bad.
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 No, they're good
That's-
movies.
no, they're not,
They're good
Farmer.
movies.
No, they're not.
I like
Yeah,
practical
they're-
effects. A lot of times they use practical effects in those movies.
They're good in the same way that.
Sorry.
Yeah, they're
Stuck
good.
on
They're
Star
good in the same way that what's Sharknado?
Well, have you
They're
ever
good
seen,
in the
like-
same way that Sharknado.
Have you ever
Big
seen
ass
Evil
spider.
Dead?
Am I allowed
No.
to say that?
What?
Sorry.
If it's a movie, I guess. I don't know.
Big ass spider. Excuse me.
Oh yeah. I remember that. What about Oh, I know this isn't a horror movie, but I gotta ask: did any of you guys see Darkest Hour?
What the?
Great movie. What's that? It's the movie about It's the new movie
With
about
the
Winston
head.
Churchill.
Oh, okay.
I've heard of it.
So
Haven't
it's,
seen it.
oh man, Darkest Hour, great movie, great film. I think that's the most recent movie I've seen in theaters. But yeah, I would highly recommend. Max,
Where-
I know you're a bit of a history buff. You would.
What's it about?
It's about, when Germany in like the first half of World War II, Germany obviously was like really like covering a lot of ground, and it almost reached a point where, Britain came very close to
Oh,
surrendering.
is this with the Winston Churchill?
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh, yeah,
Britain
yeah.
co-
Okay,
yeah.
I did
So,
hear about
yeah,
this.
Britain
Okay,
came
I
really
forgot
close
the
to
name.
surrendering to the Germans, and Winston Churchill took it as his personal responsibility to convince Parliament not to surrender to the Nazis.
Was that
And-
before or after he blew up those like French ships? Because I know they sunk a bunch.
Are you
of
talking about Dunkirk?
No, the British, in order, because the French surrendered.
What?
So in the south of France,
Yeah.
they blew up a bunch of French ships because they were afraid the French were going to lose those naval vessels to the Germans.
I'm not sure if what you are talking about. No, you're not talking about Dunkirk.
No.
I don't
Ryan,
know.
have you seen Dunkirk?
Yes.
Dunkirk
Wait, I
is-
gotta say
Dunkirk
something
is
first.
another
I gotta
great
say
one.
I think
something
Max has
first.
Max
That
has
was the
another
exact
There's a
great
great PragerU clip on Winston Churchill. If anybody's interested, I highly
Shut up!
recommend it.
Shut up!
Prager University
Shut up!
is a
No,
solid
you are
YouTube
not.
program.
You are not plugging PragerU
I just
on
did.
this. No.
Okay, what do you want in place of Prague University then?
What?
Give
I
your
want
opinion.
I want a
No,
dictionary.
we said it's not going here. Anyway, Dunkirk. That's not a horror movie. That's why we-
No, we're not talking about horror. I just wanted to say that was like the most recent. I think Darkest Hour was the most recent film that I'd seen, and I would highly recommend it. I thought it was great. I was so mad when it was over.
I got a dumb question.
Let's hear it.
All
What's
right.
that horror movie with the guy that has the mask?
Jason.
Yeah.
Jason?
That's
Funny
Friday the
story.
13th.
That's.
I
yeah,
haven't seen
Is
that
it
one.
That's
really?
Friday the 13th.
Yes.
Fri-
No.
All right. Well,
Is Friday
speaking
the
of
13th?
Friday the 13th, if I don't think that's true, I thought it was called.
Friday the 13th.
Is
No,
it
no, no,
Friday
no.
the 13th?
I thought
I
it
don't
was
think.
Yes.
I don't
Alright.
think.
I don't know what
I
it's
don't
called.
think any of the horror movies with Jason the character are actually called Jason. Like I think they're all called like something else.
They're all Friday the 13th.
Yeah,
franchise
Friday the
movies.
13th.
Yeah.
Okay.
Uh,
That's what I
interesting
thought.
enough, in the original, actually, that's a spoiler. I can't say that.
We've already said a lot of spoilers.
Knowledge.
How you
All
might
right.
do
Well,
this
if you haven't
right.
seen the movie until
Knowledge,
now,
boys,
it
knowledge.
is his.
Old movie.
It's
Yes.
his mother killing for him in the first movie, and then in the second movie, he's actually resurrected, and that's why you continue the franchise with Jason, not his mother, because his mother just dies in the first one.
Is anybody else
I got
get
something
on
to
that
say.
train? Is
Yeah.
anybody else understanding that?
My troop went to a Boy Scout camp called Camp Nobi Bosco, and that movie was actually filmed partly at that camp. One of the movies, I don't know which one. I never saw any of them, but apparently there's one with a lake in it, and that lake was at Camp Nobi Bosco.
Did you get murdered there?
I was on vacation that week, so I didn't get to go. But
Oh.
my troop went.
Well,
So when I was in Pittsburgh, they would
opportunity.
not. The tour guides, when I was visiting Pitt, they would not stop talking about how all these movies were filmed
Yeah.
in Pittsburgh.
They,
I was like,
I remember that from my tour
I
too.
don't,
I'm
I
sure
don't
they all
yeah.
had the same
care.
script.
I just didn't care. It's like
yeah, they're telling how like when I went to visit.
every single tour. You visited Pitt?
No, I visited Point Park, and they were saying
Oh,
the same
yeah.
thing. Like,
Yeah,
oh, all
like-
these movies were filmed on the
It's
street.
like cool.
Yeah,
I don't
why
just
is that?
care. Because Pittsburgh's a very
It's
It's
nice.
awesome
It's a nice
city.
scenic
Yeah.
city.
If you're ever in Pittsburgh, I highly recommend Minio's Pizza on. I don't remember the name.
Max
of
told
the
me to
street,
Max
but
told me
it's
to go
good.
to
It's a
Minnie's
great
Pizza before
place.
I went and visited Pitt, and I forgot to, and he was not.
But most importantly, like, what is everybody's favorite pizza? You know,
It's thin crust, but it's a lot of cheese. That's my kind of pizza.
that's your kind of pizza. Like, I would agree with that. Cause like, you ever
my
had like
pizza, I
Metro?
like my women.
I may have not even known it was Metro, but
Okay, it's
I don't
like
know.
thin.
Not
pizza,
a huge
it's
fan of
got a-
Metro.
Why?
What?
Metro?
Not that-
It's
Metro's
cheap,
a
Brad.
classic.
You like
No.
cheap.
It's
no.
okay. It's okay. It's
Yeah,
not
that's
that
true.
great.
Metro's cheap as
I,
dirt.
Caruso's.
Caruso's
Caruso's-
Caruso's
Caruso's
never
is good.
disappoints.
It's good
Caruso's
pizza.
I
is
still
good.
can't believe you guys went to Caruso's without me, man. I'm just,
I don't know.
So salty.
I'm
You
okay
went,
with
they went
not
to the
going
Caruso's on
Caruso's.
Marietta Avenue without
It's
me.
okay.
It's okay, God. It's okay. Just let it out.
Guys, what's your feeling on ham and pineapple pizza? Yes or no?
Not a fan. Not a fan.
No.
Nope.
Oh, ham? I don't know about ham. Pineapple better. You better not. Like,
God forbids it, so I've never tried
oh,
it.
that's true.
Wait,
what does
I
God
like
forbid?
ham and pineapple.
Ham and
Well,
ham,
you're wrong.
ham on pizza. He actually forbids both of them. So
He forbids pizza.
no, just the. Just the
How you about
just
to
the
plug
ham and-
Mineo's
just
Pizza
the,
when
just
God
the ham and the
forbids it?
cheese and the ham in general.
We're not allowed to eat pork at all, right?
No, you
Yeah.
can't have anything with cloven hooves, right?
No,
That's correct.
that's not correct.
Okay, I apologize. I am not an expert.
Swing and a miss.
I'm not an expert. I'm commenting
Strike
from
one.
where I thought, but I was not right.
It's okay. It's
So
okay.
let's get back on track,
Yeah.
or at least try to. I'm sorry that nobody else likes ham and pineapple pizza. I really think you're missing out, but we'll get back on track anyways.
Pineapple is just. I can't say I've ever tried it, but just the thought of it is.
I've
like,
tried it. It's not good.
Not-
It's sweet and
yeah, I
savory
didn't-
all together.
It's not-
No,
yeah,
but what about like
I'll agree
regular
with you, Bailey,
pineapple?
because I had this like in my culinary arts class. We did this like chicken and pineapple dish one time, and I thought like they'd go weird together,
They're nice.
but they did. It went well together.
Yeah, savory stuff goes well with like sugar, like sweet sugary stuff, like
pineapple.
pretzels and
Chocolate covered
chocolate.
pretzels.
Chocolate
Bacon
covered
and
pretzels go
chocolate.
together.
Bacon and
Citru-
chocolate.
like
Bacon and chocolate.
chocolate is not sweet the same way that
what do you put?
fruits are
What do you
sweet.
put on your ham at Thanksgiving?
Gravy typically.
Honey.
What?
Honey
We
glazed
always had
ham?
we've always had pineapple on our ham.
Nope, I've never had.
You've never
pineapple.
had that?
I've heard of honey.
I
Also-
have.
also,
okay, no.
honey glazed
I
ham.
have.
I usually.
Okay,
usually
yeah,
don't
I have
ham
eaten
for
pineapple
Thanksgiving.
with ham, and it's.
Really?
I've been
Yeah, I
content
usually
with
have
it.
turkey.
Oh, you mean for like
We
Christmas?
usually do both.
Okay, I
Well,
have.
sure.
Alright, Bailey, I will
Whenever
give
you
you
eat
that.
your ham.
Bailey, I will give you that. I have eaten ham with pineapple,
Yeah.
and I've been content with it.
Yeah,
but
content.
I still
That's all
don't
I'm
like-
asking for
I
is
still don't like
content.
the idea of pineapple on pizza.
Yeah, just 'cause-
that makes me uncomfortable.
Yeah, the ham and pineapple together is okay, but it's when you put it on top of pizza. That's when just
Cool.
it
So it's
It
the
goes
pizza
downhill.
part that like even if there was no ham, pineapple and pizza would be.
No.
You wouldn't
Pineapple
do
and
that
pizza
either.
would not be good.
So it's the pineapple part of the ham and pineapple that
I just-
everybody really doesn't
Like
like.
we
Yeah, I
we
think-
have
I think
put so
that
many.
is-
I think that's what we've seen from this.
All right.
Is
Did I
that one
tell
of
you
the
about-
questions you put on your list? How do you feel about Hawaiian pizza?
No.
No.
It's not,
Did
it's
Did I
not
ever
on the
tell you about?
list.
Do you know,
I have
do you
only
guys know
questions
Doug
about
Valley?
horror movies on my list.
Yeah.
Do you know
What?
Doug? I remember
Doug
Doug one
who?
time put "Does pineapple belong on pizza?" like on like an Instagram story poll. You know what I'm talking about? And 63% of people said no way.
Yeah, but that leaves the other
Doug Bugallo.
37% that
really
said
huge.
Yeah,
on
that's
that.
It'll do.
63%. That's a big majority.
That's a lot.
But
of people.
37
for a random Instagram poll. That's a big majority.
That's over a third though.
37% of people are wrong.
37 is over a third. I just like to let everybody know that.
No, but that means like okay,
2 out of
you
3
said-
people. 2 out of 3
Yeah,
people.
What was
Almost
that?
two.
Almost-
2/3 of
almost-
the people
almost-
polled
almost-
said no.
I don't know. I'll check.
Max, you remember when PragerU put that
That
Instagram
poll.
that
Would you feel
poll on
safer if
Instagram?
teachers had guns?
And
And it was
90% of
96% yes.
That's a simple random
Yeah,
sample if I've
I'll
ever
tell you
seen
what.
one.
No, it's everybody.
That's
how
how
they-
Erica really
No,
feels.
it's
Erica
following
really feels.
everybody. No, it's everybody following Prager University. So like
That's true.
that's kind of that pool of people feel
Max
safe.
Max follows PragerU, but he doesn't like any of their posts because he doesn't want people
No,
to know he
some of them
follows
are rid-
PragerU.
most of them are ridiculous.
Well, it's always
Right
Dennis
on.
Prager
Most of them
going,
are ridiculous.
"Eh."
Yeah, he
He
smokes
also
that
follows.
big cigar.
He also follows Ben Shapiro.
I do not
which-
follow Ben Shapiro.
You said you do follow Ben
no,
Shapiro.
I don't follow Ben Shapiro because there was a lot of annoying stuff that I.
Max, I don't really
I didn't
understand.
want
I don't
my
know why
feed.
you're so like ashamed of liking Ben Shapiro. There's a lot of people
I
that like
watch.
Ben
I
Shapiro.
listen to his show occasionally, but no, I don't follow him on Instagram.
He's got good facts, but he can get misguided sometimes.
All right, so
surprised-
back onto the topic of horror movies,
Oh, yeah.
just to close it
Those
out.
things.
There's
Yeah,
actually
we're running out of time.
there's a movie Have you guys seen the trailer for the movie Quiet Place?
I
Yes.
have
I
seen
wanna
that.
see that
They
movie.
got,
Yeah,
it's got
yeah.
John
Yeah, it's
Krasinski
got
from
the
The
guy from The
Office.
Office.
Yes,
That's-
exactly. So
He's
That's all
big
I
now.
need.
What happened?
He's been big.
and
He
he,
did,
I think
like-
it's because his beard he looks
ever
bigger.
since The Office,
Yeah.
he's been doing like military like thriller shooter movies, and
Yeah.
he's just been a freaking like.
He's a
He
legend.
looks like a
And he has a beard.
football.
Yeah,
He looks,
built like a
looks
tank.
like an NFL linebacker or something. Yeah.
Alrighty.
All right, so everybody wants
Alright.
to see that movie?
Yeah, I mean,
Quiet
let's
Place.
see it.
Sounds
We'll
good.
do
I
a
don't know,
short
though.
review on it
Yeah.
next
I've
week.
I've seen a lot of YouTube commercials for that, and I have never seen a movie that is like supposed to be really good that does a ton of YouTube.
Well, he
commercials.
directed.
That's their-
I think it's just because it's like an
I feel like
independent
if-
project. Like he directed it and wrote it himself. And
Who
like,
did?
John Krasinski.
Did he really?
Yeah,
Wow.
I did not know that.
know that.
yeah, and
That's
Emily
impressive.
Blunt, who's his wife, is actually
His real wife.
Yes,
his real wife. Is actually his wife in
Not
the.
Pam.
Not
Not
Pam.
I'm thinking of Pam, but
Not,
I'm sure
um,
it's a different person.
What's Pam's? Jenna.
Jenna, I don't know what her name is.
Oh my
Fisher.
God.
Jenna
Fisher.
Jenna
That's right.
Fisher.
Jenna Fisher.
Um,
Yeah, no, they're not actually married.
Yeah. So, do we have any closing remarks for this podcast? I only have this room until 1 o'clock. So.
I gotta go to lunch.
me too.
I
I'm
don't
hungry.
think.
I'm
Yeah, I don't
hungry.
think any of us. I will say I don't think any of us are particular experts on horror movies. I will say Babadook was great. Would highly recommend if you're into psychological thrillers. And don't see Annabelle.
Stay safe on Friday the 13th.
That's true,
You're
too.
probably listening to this after Friday the 13th.
What?
Bailey, you should have filmed this before and then released it today.
Yeah, maybe next time we can talk about something a little bit more knowledgeable.
Yeah,
I feel like
Brady
We're
had
talking
to get
about
that
we're talking about local
part of
music
this.
next time. Bailey said he wanted to talk about local music, and I was like, yes.
We can talk
Yeah.
about local music.
What
All right.
time are we
Everyone
talking
Well-
check
about?
out Salt Hill.
Well, for
Everybody check out Salt Hill.
Salt Hill,
Plug.
everybody.
Let's
all
go.
right. Well, for Off the Track on the Record, this is Bailey and the gang. Make sure to watch Hempfield Happenings
Bailey and the Squad.
on WTHS on YouTube. Just look it up. WTHS News Hempfield Happenings, and our channel HSD TV7, where this podcast is and will be. So make sure to check us out next time. We're gonna try to air on Fridays. Thank you and have a wonderful day.